Hi, my name's Maggie, and I would love to give you a little astrological breakdown for December. Happy December. Welcome to a new month. We're going to talk about the moons in December. I think that this is really useful information, whether you believe in astrology or not, because these are themes that are worth considering. So, whether you buy into astro, doesn't really matter. We could still think about these things because they are parts of life that are important. So, let's talk first about the new moon. We have a new moon on December 12th. So the new moon is the part of the lunar cycle where the moon is not illuminated at all at nighttime. You go outside, there's nothing to see. Nothing. Which means like nothing is illuminated. There's no moon shadows. There's nothing to really see when you look out into the world. So it's a really good time to turn your focus from the outside to the inside. This is the part I always tell people that the new moon is like when you plant a seed into the ground. You tuck it in, you cover it with dirt, it's dark inside. It's dark. That's like the new moon. And then you water it, you give it sunlight, all the things, and you really just have to trust that the process of growth is going to happen. That's where we're at when the new moon occurs. It's not like we can get into the ground and be like, hey, seed, break your shell open, send out a root. It will just, I mean, we could tell it that, but it's not really doing anything. The process is the process and it moves at the right time. And we don't always know what that is. So new moon is the time where we plant our seeds. So do that with your goals, with your dreams, with your hopes and the things that you want to bring into your life, the things that you want to build. Start to get clear on what those things are around the new moon. And then plant those little seeds and just trust that in the right time, those roots are going to start to unfurl and make their way down into the ground, and a little sprout's going to come up and it's going to be a big, beautiful flower. As you go inside, as you connect with your inner world, the new moon is in Sagittarius. The sun and moon are both in Sagittarius. That's what a new moon is. Not just Sagittarius, but same sign. So the sun and the moon are together. Sagittarius themes are related to action and energy and options and spontaneity and like zooming the focus out so you can see the big picture. It's about learning and being on quests and adventures and like charting into new foreign territory so you can get some new ideas and some new perspectives. Sagittarians love learning. They're always like seeking for more knowledge and more information because the sign has to do with belief systems and big perspectives and big ideas. So it's a really good time to go inside of yourself and be curious about where your belief systems came from, especially because Christmas is here and it's like the holiday season. So think about some of your beliefs. What is the reason for the season for you? Where did that come from? Did your mom teach you that? Where did she get it from? Like, go back as far as you can go. Try to take your focus out, zoom out, and trace your belief systems all the way as far back as they can go. It's so interesting. And then we start to realize what they are. We get to think about them from a different way. And a lot of the times we just walk around in this world in our bodies, like doing the things we're supposed to do, and we don't think about what we believe in. We just do. So it's important, I think, to do a little critical thinking, a little reflection, a little self-analysis, because then you know that you're carrying those beliefs with you by choice. This isn't just a bag that you picked up a long time ago that you forgot you're carrying. And since you forgot you're carrying it, you can't put it down. Then you're like being an active part of what you believe in and being able to have some discernment and be like, no, this is what I believe in, and here's why. So that's the new moon on December 12th. Then the full moon, the opposite of that, will be on December 26th. So right after Christmas, we have a big, bright, shiny full moon. When the moon is full, that is like the peak. It's a culmination point. It is the top of the hill. It's what we've been building towards and what we've been working towards. So the emotional volume knob is turned up. The intensity volume knob is turned up. and everyone kind of feels it differently. This particular moon, I think that people that are born in the end of Gemini season, Virgo season, Sagittarius season, and Pisces season. So if you're born towards the end of those windows, I think that you're probably going to feel it a little bit more. So just pay attention. Notice how you feel around the full moon and the new moon, the 12th and the 26th. The full moon, the intensity is high. And we have a lot of players in the sky. There is Jupiter's interacting with this full moon, Mars is interacting with this full moon, Mercury's interacting with Mars, and then Neptune is involved there too. So let's talk about that, shall we? Let's talk about the moon first. The moon will be in Cancer. Cancer is the sign that has to do with home and the mother and nurturing and like protecting yourself, like being safe in your house, protecting your loved ones, having a safe living situation for your children or for your partner or for yourself. And a lot of times with moon in Cancer, we're comforted through like nostalgia. So it's a lot of times, and it's a lot of like foods and smells that remind you of home. That's not the only thing that reminds us of home around the full moon. Jupiter's in Taurus. Both of those placements, moon in Cancer, Jupiter in Taurus, really up the like nostalgic factor, the home. So I want to feel like I'm home. I want to smell the foods that I used to eat when I was little. I want to like be transported back in time and just go through my childhood Christmas. And maybe like I'm using generalizations. I realize not everybody might feel that way, but that kind of like seeking comfort is going to be a part of this moon. Now, we have the emotional volume up, we have the intensity up, we are all feeling a little bit more like we want to be nurtured and we want to be home and we want to be cared for. And at the same time, we have Mercury and Mars very close to each other. This gives our communication, our words, a little bit of the warrior edge. Those two planets are interacting with Neptune, which deals with illusions and imagination and smoke and mirrors and like that kind of not tangible parts of life. So what does all of this mean, Maggie? How I'm looking at this is when the volume's turned up, the emotional volume, the intensity is turned up, we want to feel good, we want to feel home, we want to feel cared for, but we're getting this like weird like miscommunication kind of energy, or the like misunderstandings, miscommunications, wrong words, or like deceptive language that you might be saying one word, but they actually mean a different word, or they mean something else. And then, so there's like a little bit of this dreamy confusion. And then there's the warrior who's telling us to act and to like be reactive and responsive and to respond to our triggers. Like that's a very Martian, it's a very warrior kind of a thing. Someone pokes you and you give them the full beans. So that can be, we can look at all of that information to be we're more likely to have like false communications or arguments or clashes around things that aren't even real. Like we didn't even get the right information and yet we're fighting over it. Or yeah, that's just kind of what it is. We're like provoked by something that isn't true, that has no basis in reality, and yet it's still provoking us and inspiring us to use our words as weapons, or to use our words to cut someone down, or use our words to burn a bridge. So all of this just kind of painted a picture in my head of a family having a beautiful meal. Everything's made from scratch. Everyone is so happy to be having their plates in front of them. And then this character shows up at the table. It's the drunk uncle. He's been drinking all day long. He's pounding them at this point. And you know what? He starts to bring up politics at dinner. while we have this nurturing, delicious, nostalgic meal right in front of us. And so there's this like juxtaposition of like homemade, yummy, nostalgic food, and then like poison darts, like pointing at the uncle for, triggering us based on who knows what he's saying. He's drunk. The information probably isn't valid. And so we're met with this choice of like, do we hurt the uncle with our words and ruin the dinner and like, or do we wait for the actual information to be clear or be known before we decide to react and be triggered and responsive? I think that can be helpful. Just like holidays are stressful. There's expectations and obligations and like a finite amount of time that we have to fit everything into. And sometimes we have more than one family that we have to see. So I just think that that's good to know. I think that instead of indulging or reacting with verbal arguments or explosive communication, if we know that the intensity might be a little bit higher, then we can go into the holidays ready for it. We can go in coming from center, coming from love, coming from this place of understanding, like, I might not have all the information right now, so it's really not worth getting upset over. So I hope that this helps you to enjoy your December and enjoy your holidays. And I hope that you have a super December.